welcome to Pike Creek Farm and welcome to another 90s Butter Mom recipe for this month. And I'm making meatloaf. Pretty simple. I'm going to use the recipe from the 1986 Betty Crocker book that I got when I moved to California and got married. Well, I got married, then I moved to California. You know, there was no internet then. There was no way of looking up recipes other than what my mom sent me and cookbooks I got for shower and wedding presents. So I actually bought this one myself. It was brand new out when we went to the bookstore at the mall. And so I used it a lot. And then I, continued using it as I had my family in the 90s and, was raising them. And we always liked meatloaf. Meatloaf was one of our favorite meals. And, back then ground beef was cheap, it was the economical thing to buy. It's not as economical now, but sometimes you can get it on sale or, if you have your own that you butcher. But I'm gonna put a meatloaf together. I'm gonna use 2 pounds of meat. I'm gonna use a pound of venison and a pound of ground beef. And you can put pork in this and that lightens it up some, gives it a different flavor. I'm gonna use 1 pound of venison because it's lean, and the 1 pound of ground beef, it's 80-20 to add some fat to it because you need to have some for this. And I'm gonna bring you down, and this is a basic meatloaf and how they had it in the Betty Crocker cookbook, and it always worked out for us. And then I'm gonna show you another video where I'm gonna use some of the leftover meatloaf, not just for sandwiches. We love meatloaf sandwiches. Do you like meatloaf sandwiches? I do. So I took my rings off because I use my hands. I have in the oven already a little Corningware casserole of scalloped potatoes, homemade ones. And instead of just using flour, I use some of my homemade cream of anything soup. I think that will give it a nice flavor. I've never done that, so this is an experiment, but I followed my recipe the same, otherwise layering potatoes and onions and butter, and instead of flour, I use that. So the first step is I'm gonna put the breadcrumbs in here. And because I'm doubling this recipe, the original recipe called for like a pound or a pound and a half, and I'm gonna use 2 pounds of meat. So I'm gonna put 1.5 cups of breadcrumbs. And I am not panko. I don't know if panko really existed in stores back then. You can also use fresh bread that you crumble up. So 1.5 cups of, and I'm using the Italian seasoned breadcrumbs. Now I'm going to add a cup of milk to that to moisten those breadcrumbs. And I have 2 eggs. My mom's rule was 1 egg per pound of meat for making meatballs or meatloaf. Anything where you needed it as a binder for the meat. I'm going to give them a little bit of a beating before I add them in there. Get them mixed up. And I am going to stir this so that those breadcrumbs soften. This will help make the meatloaf tender. And now I'm going to add the meat. This is a pound of ground beef. I got it packaged up. And I got some on sale. And this is the venison, a pound of venison. We want 1/2 cup of finely diced onion. We want we want 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire, and I just give it a few shakes. I don't measure it. About a teaspoon of garlic powder. I'm going to add about a tablespoon of Italian seasoning. And then half a cup of ketchup, and I'm gonna eyeball it. That's about 1/4. We'll call that a half. So now I'm gonna mix this all together. I'm gonna use my hands. I find it the easiest way. They are clean, and I will wash them after. And you want to get everything mixed up evenly, but you don't want to overwork it. So I kind of go from the bottom up and give it a squish to kind of mix it. Because you want to have the breadcrumbs throughout so that it molds in with the meat, you know, to be cohesive. Now, through the years, there's been times that I use barbecue sauce instead of ketchup, or you can use chili sauce. And you could even use salsa and add some cumin or chili powder. I'm going to use, it's 11x7. Sometimes I use a 9x13. You can use a bread pan. I have never done that. I've always just shaped it in a rectangle pan. Pat it together so that there's no cracks. Washed my hands. Now we're going to put ketchup on top. Some people add brown sugar to it. I don't normally do that. I have done, this was my mom's favorite way, put strips of bacon across the top and bake it that way, and that's very good. Spread that out. And this is going to go in the oven on 350 for about an hour. I didn't add any salt, and I could have added some salt, but I think there's enough other stuff in there. It's okay. Usually I add like a teaspoon of salt, so not a huge amount, but I have the Worcestershire, which has salt in it, and the other seasonings, so no salt, which, you know, it's okay. We don't need salt, really. But I will put that, when I put the recipe down below, I will add the salt to it. But salt's always optional. I'm gonna put my rings back on now. The meatloaf is done. I have some green beans and the scalloped potatoes, which don't look very pretty. Here's dinner dished up. The green beans. Funny story, I grabbed dill beans instead, so they're a little tangy. I added some bacon grease and heated them up, but they're not what I was planning on. They're more like a sweet sour bean now. And the scalloped potatoes and the meat, which did slice really nice. That's the bottom. It went on the plate upside down. So here's a bite of it. You know, it's okay without the salt. Enough other flavors from all the spices. And my scalloped potatoes broke up kind of. They aren't the nice slices now. I'm not sure. I think they cooked faster than I anticipated. But they are good. And my pickled green beans. Tangy. Reminds me of like a German type side dish, you know, the sweet sour cabbage, or, well, I did it to green beans. So that's dinner tonight. Tomorrow I'm going to turn it into something different, which is one of the tricks with leftovers. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time at Pike Creek Farm.